My head just lost the damn lid that protects it. Like, are we even living in reality anymore? We've got a so-called leader who straight up sent his own cult to attack the US Capitol, to storm the house that's supposed to stand for the people, for the Constitution, for the country, and he's out here walking free like he just skipped gym class. No accountability. No real punishment. No handcuffs. Just press conferences, rallies, and a red carpet of delusion rolled out by folks too hypnotized to see the facts. Let's get real. If that had been anyone else other than a rich, loud, powerful man with a gold toilet and a mob behind him, they'd be under the jail right now. Not just in it. Under it. Buried. And we all know it. The system bent over backwards to protect him while trying to crush people who speak out for justice, who fight for the poor, who dare to say the emperor's naked. If you're black, brown, poor, or just telling the truth too loud, you get labeled a threat. But this man sends an angry mob to overthrow democracy and somehow he's the victim? Wake up. I'm not here to debate with folks who treat politics like a football team and ignore actual reality. If your opinion comes layered in ideology and bias like an onion, keep peeling it somewhere else. I said what I said. Period. We really living in a clown world if a man can commit crime after crime in broad daylight, lie to the people, play them like fools, and still walk his crooked self right back into the highest seat of power again. Like nothing ever happened. Like the truth don't matter. This man ain't some misunderstood hero. He's a straight-up betrayal in a suit. He didn't come back for the people. He came back to finish what he started, gutting the working class, cutting Social Security, messing with Medicaid, taking food out of struggling families' mouths. And all while smiling in your face like he's doing you a favor. He didn't rise to power by lifting folks up, he did it by stepping on their necks, and now he's dancing on the backs of the same people who voted for him. If you're poor, elderly, sick, or just trying to get by, you ain't part of his plan. You are the sacrifice. And let's be real, he didn't return to serve the people. He came to serve the same old playbook. White supremacy, backroom deals, and big money criminals with clean suits and dirty hands. The man's loyalty lies with those who'd rather see the working class starve than see justice win. If that truth burns your eyes, grab some shades. I don't debate onion-layered ideology that smells like denial and privilege. I said what I said. End of story. Let's stop sugarcoating what happened. He didn't just tighten immigration policies, like they love to say on TV. He attacked immigrants. Point blank. He smeared them with lies, painted families as monsters, and used fear as his weapon so he could go full force on human beings who came here legally, to work, to live, to survive. He made it seem like every immigrant was some kind of criminal just to justify locking them up without trial, without justice, without even being heard. No due process. No rights. Just cages, shackles, and silence. These weren't gangsters. These were moms, dads, uncles, cousins. Honest, hard-working people who got treated like dirt for no other reason than being born elsewhere. Now they're trapped in segregation camps, modern-day prisons, rotting away like they committed some violent act. But here's the truth. They didn't. Their only crime was believing in a dream that this country used to pretend it stood for. This ain't justice. This is targeted cruelty. And if you're still defending that man after seeing what he did to people just trying to live free, you ain't standing for America, you're standing for something way darker. And before any of his defenders come sliding in here with their onion-layered arguments and twisted takes, save it. I don't argue with folks who wrap hate in ideology. I wrote what I wrote. End of story. Let's call it what it is, straight-up hate in a suit and tie. He came for the LGBTQ community like it was a personal vendetta. He ripped them out of sports, out of the military, out of healthcare access, like they ain't human, like they don't bleed the same, fight the same, deserve the same. All while feeding the public lie after lie, painting them as threats just to rile up his base and weaponize ignorance. He didn't protect anything. He divided. He dehumanized. He turned people against their own neighbors, their own children, their own coworkers. And for what? Power. Control. A headline. Some cheap applause from the echo chamber. These people ain't criminals. They didn't commit a single crime by simply existing, by living in truth, by asking to be treated with dignity. But he treated them like enemies of the state, turning his zombie crowd loose with pitchforks and prejudice. And the saddest part? Too many cheered it on without even asking why. Just followed orders, no questions asked. So to his supporters, don't come in my lane talking ideology when your views peel back like an onion and stink of hate. I don't argue with folks who use their belief system to justify cruelty. I said what I said. End of story. Let's talk truth, raw and unfiltered, because this part right here, it cuts deep. He didn't just attack fake news. That was the cover. What he really went after was truth itself. He came for the free press, the independent journalists, the writers who still have a spine and a pen. Anyone who dared to speak facts got labeled the enemy. Anyone who didn't kiss the ring got discredited, silenced, or drowned in lies. Why? Because white supremacy runs on one thing: control of the narrative. They can't stand facts. Facts expose the ugly truths they try to bury. Facts call out injustice. Facts don't bow to hate. And that terrifies them. He wants a country where thinking is replaced with obeying, where truth is decided by power, not evidence. He wants people brainwashed, loud with hate and quiet with reason, just how white supremacy likes it. No questions. No logic. No room for humanity. But here's the deal, I don't play that game. I don't stay silent just because some powerful man fears the truth. And I sure as hell don't rewrite my words to fit an ideology that crumbles when facts walk in the room. To his defenders, don't come in here waving your onion-layered arguments thinking I'm about to go back and forth. I don't debate truth with folks who fear it. I said what I said. End of story. While all this chaos is happening out in the open, let's not forget what's lurking in the background, his past. And now it's surfacing louder than ever. Allegations of child abuse. Yeah, that's serious. And instead of answering to it like any regular citizen would have to, he's out here tampering with evidence. That's illegal, point blank. But again, when you're rich and powerful in America, laws apparently become suggestions. And while he's busy covering his tracks, he's sending ICE like attack dogs to scare off protesters, people who are just standing up for what's right. Not breaking laws. Just using their voices. But he treats protest like terrorism and silence like loyalty. He's torched the LGBTQ community, brutalized immigrants, slashed benefits from the elders, the disabled, and the poor, all while fattening his wallet and running a damn business out of the White House like it's some crooked family empire. These aren't differences of opinion, these are crimes. These are attacks on humanity, dignity, and everything this country pretends to stand for. And let me make this crystal clear. I don't entertain arguments from folks who come at me with ideology stacked like an onion, layer after layer of nonsense that stinks the deeper you peel. I'm not here to play debate club with people who can't tell right from rotten. I wrote what I wrote. End of story. Let's just be real for a minute, all these crimes, all this dirt out in the open, and yet, he's still sitting in that chair, still calling the shots like nothing ever happened. That alone should wake people up. But it ain't just about him anymore. It's about who's letting him get away with it. The courts, Congress, the so-called checks and balances, they've all sat there and watched him trample every law, every moral line, every shred of decency, and they've done nothing. They let it slide. Over and over. That says more about them than it does about him. Because a criminal will always do what criminals do. But when the people in charge of justice refuse to act, that's complicity. That's corruption at the top. How is this man still president after everything? Why ain't the White House under full investigation? Why ain't Congress being dragged into court? Why is the Supreme Court sitting quiet? And where's the military when the Constitution is being shredded like old receipts? Simple. In my opinion, because they're just like him. Same greed. Same rot. Same silence when power's at stake. They don't protect the people. They protect their own. At this point, laws look more like theater than justice. They write them for us, but break them for themselves. And that right there? That's why people don't trust this system anymore. Because the mask is off. And we see them for what they really are. And for his loyal followers, don't come to me with your onion-layered ideology, hoping I'll dance around the truth. I don't debate facts with folks who can't peel past denial. I said what I said. End of story.